In this video, I'm going to help you find your Zen by looking at you and your experience in a new way. Let's get that intro rolling. Today we're going to do a brief eyes open meditation, meaning we're going to come in contact with our experiences. I'm going to have you pay attention to things. I'm going to guide you through this exercise, but with your eyes open, being here, being present. So you're going to have a, let's say, advanced knowledge of paying attention to distractions and maybe not getting too caught up in them. Notice if you go there. I'll try to cue you through that as we do this exercise together. And full informed consent, I want to tell you what we're going to be doing together before we actually start this exercise. So first things first, I'm going to have you come in contact with your experience, noticing different things, including experiences where you may be self-deprecating, judgmental towards yourself. I'm not going to trick you. I'm not going to play any loud sounds or have any video come in to interrupt us that's going to maybe scare you or have some sort of a threat response come up. But I am going to have you pay attention to what happens on the screen and be aware of your experience of what happens during this video. I'm going to be doing a thought experiment with you where I show you two different ways of looking at experience. So I'd like to invite you to get seated comfortably. I like to sit nice and tall. There's some postures where we do some of these meditations where they lend to being a little more easily distracted. So maybe sit tall through the spine, maybe press through the crown of your head, but don't be too rigid through the spine. Sit in a way where you're comfortable. Maybe play around with the alignment of your shoulders over top of your hips. Let's take a breath on purpose. Just notice whatever you're feeling in this moment. Any sensations, any thoughts, even distractions about this video. And I'd like to invite you to come in contact with something about yourself that you struggle with. Maybe this is a thought or a feeling, something that has had a cost for you in your life. And whatever shows up, breathe it in, notice it. What situations does it show up in? What toll have you paid when this shows up in your life? Maybe it's cost you in ways where it stopped you from reaching out to somebody that's important to you and doing something new with them, or sharing with them what you appreciate about them. Maybe it gets in the way of relationships in other ways where it makes it hard for you to stand up for yourself. Consider other situations in your life where this pain that shows up for you may have costed you. Like, for example, maybe it stopped you from raising your hand in class or opting out of things at school. And as you come in contact with this pain, pay attention to the judgments that it has about you. Like, I always do this. Or, I should do this. I'd be better if I could only, if I wasn't so. And whatever your mind fills in those gaps with, pay attention to those. Notice how they impact what you do. And even here, as we're noticing those experiences, take a moment, just breathe them in. Notice what it feels like to be right here, now, acknowledging some of the places in our life where this darkness, where this pain has had a cost, where we've paid a toll because of this. And notice the attitude that you take on towards yourself. Like, picture yourself there in those situations. What type of an attitude do you take towards yourself? And again, remember, this meditation is about paying attention on purpose. So breathe in whatever shows up. Even if you're annoyed with me bringing this up with you right now, just let that be there. And come right back to the experience. I'm now going to invite you to pay attention to the screen, and I'm going to show you some images here in a moment. This is a thought experiment, so there are no wrong answers. Whatever shows up between your ears, behind your eyes, I want you to pay attention to it. So go ahead and get ready. I'm going to show you these images and just pay attention to what happens. All right, pretty simple. What did you notice? Something obvious might show up for you. I just did the math, Tim. I did the computation. No problem, easy peasy. Maybe some anxiety showed up for you, like maybe you don't like math. Maybe you're annoyed, kind of like, great Tim, I played this video hoping to kind of get my zen on today, maybe practice some guided meditation, and now you're showing me math problems? This is not what I bargained for. Whatever shows up for you, I want you to notice. Emotionally, what did it feel like to do that? What is it like to solve math problems? Now, some people tell me it's easy. Some people just take for granted that their mind just automatically looks for patterns and did 2 + 2 = 4. 3 + 3 = 6. 4 × 2 = 8. And maybe you started looking for a pattern like 2, 6, 8. Maybe your mind was looking for a certain sequence or a certain pattern, a certain number to come next. And then maybe I threw you off your game with the 6 divided by 3. Maybe even question like, wait a minute, do I remember how to do division in my head? It doesn't matter. The point here is that you paid attention to your mind, that you noticed that. Maybe you need to replay that little segment of the video to actually go, whoa, I didn't catch myself actually just doing the math. I just was waiting for the exercise to begin. Whatever shows up for you, it's important that you notice what quality it's like to do those math problems. Let's do a different thought experiment now. This time I'm going to give you the exact same amount of time, but I'm going to have you view a different image. Go ahead, shake it off, get ready to watch this one, and remember, I want you to pay attention to whatever shows up for you. There's no wrong answers. Really notice what it's like to observe this. All right, and what was that like? Did you notice the thoughts, the feelings, anything that showed up for you in reaction to observing a sunset? And maybe your mind was like, well, is that a sunset or was that a sunrise? Maybe the photography or videography enthusiasts out there were thinking about what exposure that was or what types of filters were used on that image. Whatever showed up for you, I want you to notice your thought process. I hear from a lot of people, them just saying as they observe that sunset, they sort of feel a sense of peace, a sense of settling in to the image. Maybe you were trying to figure out, where is that after a while? Regardless of what shows up for you, it's important that you notice what your experience is of observing that. Now let's contrast solving math problems in comparison to observing sunsets. Do they have a different felt experience for you? For me, solving the math problems seems kind of like rote. It seems easy. It seems routine. It's a little bit anxiety provoking. I'm not going to lie. I don't love math, especially when I'm not using my calculator. Observing the sunset has just a sense of peacefulness for me. A little bit of sadness shows up where I reflect on somebody that I've lost recently. Now, here's my challenge to you. Are you a math problem to be solved or a sunset to be enjoyed? And there's no wrong answer here. Just pause and reflect on how you experience yourself. Do you experience yourself as the math problem to be solved, as a problem to be solved? Or do you experience yourself as something to be enjoyed, to be taken in like a sunset? How about in those situations where your pain shows up for you, where difficult thoughts, painful feelings and sensations are in your world, starting to govern your behavior, when it has costs for you? In those moments, reflect back on you. Are you a problem to be solved or a sunset to be enjoyed? You see, it's really easy to default to the problem-solving mode of mind. And that's not inherently pathological. You need to understand that. A part of this meditation is recognizing how we show up to ourselves. Are there times where treating yourself as a problem to be solved is actually problematic for you? Are there times where you'd like to treat yourself more like an experience to be enjoyed? Whatever you noticed, drop it in the comments below. I'm going to be really curious to hear what your answers are. And I have to tell you, I feel really touched when I scroll through and I see your comments, so don't forget to like and to actually comment on other people's comments. We want to be really reinforcing to one another, make sure that we continue to do this. And speaking of which, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. That's very reinforcing to me and causes me to make more of these meditations, more of these videos for you. All right, let's end this meditation by taking a breath here together on purpose. And let's move forward, going slow with ourselves, acknowledging when we slip into that problem-solving mode of mind, and maybe see if you can challenge yourself today to actually treat yourself as an experience to be enjoyed. Don't forget to share this video because you never know who's going to find this work beneficial in your world. Thank you so much.